Hello friends, this is Durga from IT University. At this time we are talking about learning SQL using Oracle from me. So far we have covered the basics, basic details about uh, why we are actually doing this, how to set up environment using Apex and setting up data, etc. And we also seen before you of RDBMS, but you need to understand something called normalization or normal forms, understand the rationale behind the tables we create. So first, let us see what is a table very briefly. I will not get into too many details here. So for that, again, I am going to COTS 12 rules. Okay, and after the foundation rule, the next one is information rule, and they say all information in a relational database is represented at the logical level and in exactly one way by values in tables. So what they are saying is we need to create some structure, and it is named as table. Or all the information that needs to be stored in a relational database has to be part of the table. Table is a physical structure which. So we'll directly go ahead and see how we can create the table, and we will start understanding more as COTS rules. So I'm using apex.oracle.com, which we have set up account videos. But instead of using the one which I have used to demonstrate, I will be using my little bit older one. I just have to enter my password here. Bear with me. Problem with Apex. Yeah, it is quite common. Don't give up on it. Sometimes it might be slow. Sometimes it might behave weirdly. So we'll be primarily using SQL commands. You can also, I think, use object browser to create tables using GUIs, but you should be familiar with SQL commands and you have to write the code to insert the data, etc., to get comfortable with SQL. Okay, so the create table statement starts with create table, and then you have to give the table name. Let us create a table called employees, and as there is table already which we have created as part of setting up data, I am actually saying employees ITV. ITV stands for IT University. Okay, and then you have to open circular brace in which you have to give series of column names. Okay, so first let us see to create all the details related to employee as part of this. So first thing is when it comes to registering an employee website, so your tables have to support your application directly insert into table like this. It has to be supported by an application. There should be these days it has to be an application. Whenever you register yourself on the web application, the data has to get into some sort of table within a database. So here we are trying the potential necessary tables from the backend. Okay, what all we need in a table? We need to for employees to register, we need to have employee name, probably salary. We need to see who is the manager of that employee, in which department he is working, and the department details. We need to get the department details as well. Okay, so let us standard information we try to capture. So here let's take the example of employee name. I'm naming it as ename. There are certain best practices to follow Don't worry too much about this time. Try to get the names of columns. So ename is the column name which captures employee name, which can be interpreted easily. And at the same time, there are certain rules. There are best practices, and also there are certain rules. The rules are, when it comes to column names, you cannot have spaces in them. It cannot start with number. It has to be start with a character. When it comes to Oracle, it's case insensitive, so you don't need to worry about whether you give the column name in lowercase or uppercase. Stored it in uppercase itself when it actually try to use it later. So how you is not a major problem here, the lowercase or uppercase. However, if you put it in double quotes, try to mix up the case like this, then the information is represented like this. But you should avoid putting the column names in double quotes like this. It's not a good practice. And there is a reason why I'm typing in capital. One of the best practice, it's not a rule, but a best practice, give the to give the names uppercase, data types lowercase. It doesn't matter. You can even give both uppercase, but to just differentiate between which we are giving and the keywords which we are using. Sorry, here as I am using the keywords such as create table uppercase, I have to give the employee name in the name in lowercase. Even though it will be represented in uppercase internally, it is a best practice. All the developer defined names in the lowercase, so that it represented in one form in the by the we have to preserve the scripts for later usage. So for our readability and maintenance purposes, either we represent keywords in uppercase or lowercase. If we decide to represent keywords in uppercase, then the non-keywords such as table names, column names have to be lowercase. If you decide to represent the keywords in lowercase, then probably it's a good idea to define the table names, column names, etc. in the uppercase. Okay, we'll have a column called ename, and now we have to give the data type of it. Employee name is a alphanumeric. Employee name can store alphanumeric values. So I am dividing the data type as varchar 230. Okay, I will explain what is this varchar, etc. a little bit later. Don't worry too much about it. Create a video on data types themselves. And then what are the details we have? We will have contact number. And contact number can be stored as integer, or it can be stored as varchar also. So if you want to store in pre-formatted manner as per the standard of the country, for example, US number, most standard number will be like this. It will be 10-digit phone number. Country code is +1 for US. So this is the typical standard for US number. Sometimes there will be hyphen here. Country code, this is the area code. I think either area code, state code. This is typically state or region code. This is area code, and this is your number, your relative number, not full number, but relative number. The 5678 is your relative number. Either you can decide to store it in database in integer format or string format. Let's decide to store it in string format. Okay, as there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 fixed length, we can define the data type as char. Okay, so let's define it as 17 characters. Email is also again alphanumeric with some special characters such as @ punctuation mark dot, but it can be stored in varchar. So here we will be giving email IDs as 50. And then address, it's up to you how you want to store the address. If you want to store the entire address in one field, it is fine. Sometimes we might want to break it into pieces like area code, the address 1, address 2. If you see the forms in Oracle, in US, if you try to register anywhere, you will see like address 1, address 2, city, state, and zip code. So either you can store everything in one field called address, or as address 1, address 2, typically. So here let us store the entire address in one column. It will have your flat number, your street name, your city, your state, etc. So here I am storing it with 100 characters. Okay, ename, contact, email, address, and then zip code. Again, zip code also, it is represented as number in some cases. It is represented as string in some cases, because zip digits and 5 digits plus 4 digits, both ways. So here also I am defining it as varchar 2 of, let's say, 12. Okay, and each employee within a company will have a manager most likely, or he will be managing the people. So we can actually add it to this table, but don't worry too much about it at this time. But an employee will have a salary, so we will have salary here. Okay, and salary is numeric type, so we can use number, and typically salary will have decimals also. So we can say 10,2, and which means that we can have with 2 decimals. So it can be max 999,999.99. We will see those details later. Probably he might have commission. Let's say that we will be defining it as percentages, and there are no decimals in it. You can say integers. Okay. So these are the standard fields. On top of it, one more thing which I want to highlight is the department. There are many other things which an employee need to have. So the department itself attributes. So the department name, department address, the department manager. There can be many. Start creating those things. Varchar 2 of 30, address varchar 2 of 100, department head varchar 2 of the name of the head, 30 characters. Okay, don't try to apply the normalization rules and try to find the flaws while defining this table. This is for those who don't have normalization at all. I'm just first creating the table, and I will try to explain the anomalies. While getting into the details, we will cover both DDL, some basics of DDL. Also, we'll try to see the normalization in few videos over a period of 4 to 5 videos. We will try to cover both so that you understand the rationale behind normalization. Okay, So this is how the table is created. Okay, so I just gave the name for the table, and I have created table with. This is a simple create table command without any constraints or anything. I will explain what is what constraint means and all. And click on run. Oh my. So it was a little bit slow. You can see table created. And get the details, you can go to object. You can see the table employees underscore ITV. And you can see all the fields and data types, etc. Similarly, even here within SQL commands. Okay, sorry, I have the script is gone. Let me see if I can find out. No, I didn't save the SQL, but it's okay. I can extract it later. So here I can say select start from tab. List of tables from uh, uh, for this user, created or owned by this user. Okay, and it only written 10 rows. You can actually say t name equal to employees underscore ITV. Like this also you can get the table details, but if you want to get it using SQL, it's a little bit complicated. Object browser provide a straightforward way to get the details about your table. This Apex is a little bit on slow side, so it is taking a little bit of time. So bear with me. And you can see the table here. So like this, you can make sure that table is created. Now, as the table is created, I would highly recommend to you to me putting in somewhere and sharing with you. It will be better typing these things so that you get familiar with these things. Okay. So here we can have the to insert data. I'm opening another session of Apex here. So insert is a DML command. Create table is a DML command. We can use insert to insert the. So our table name is employees underscore ITV. Okay, and then it has several fields. Just bear with me for a moment. I need to get the column names of the table. So I'm going to SQL object browser. So these are the fields we have. So try to insert. So all the fields, some of the fields. First, after saying insert into table name, you have to give the column names and then you have to provide values. So we will see that later. I will directly insert values. in all the fields. So the first one is ename. So here, as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 fields, I have to give matching the corresponding column. You cannot give the contact number. If you have a value, give, otherwise you have to pass a special value called null. Okay. So for this case, let's say I have the ename. Let me take the ename as Durga. So strings have to be passed in single quote characters in Oracle. And while filtering, the way I have done with where condition as part of earlier query select star from tab. Okay, that's why I put it in single quote. The next one is contact number. So I want to put it in actual format. Again, even though we define 17 as the length anywhere, okay, it is your application's responsibility to ensure that data comes in the format we are looking for. There are certain constraints which we can enforce, but from database level, there are certain limitations. Some of them will have to be taken care by your application logic. And again, there is a debate between where should be implemented what. And I will cover those details at a relevant point in time. So here I'm storing like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So that is my contact number. Let's say. And then you have email. So training at itversity.com. Okay. Address. I just don't want to share the address for whatever reason. So I'm saying null. Zip code 4321 number. Again, I have defined it as. So here area I'm not passing. So I have to insert something into it. So because as per the rule, define the column names here, we have to pass value yield. Okay, as I don't want to pass any value to the address, I'm saying null. Again, a keyword, capital letters, and here I have to use small letters. As per the best practice, it's not a rule, but it's a best practice. So null is a keyword, and one of the boys code rule is treatment of null values. So underlying database should be capable of dealing with null values. Okay, so this is the purpose of it. Fields in tables where we store nothing in fields, and null should be able to support those kind of fields. Okay. So far we have covered 5. Then salary, let's say 100. It's numeric, so we should not put it in single quotes. We should directly pass it like this. Percentage is 10. Commission, I want to store the percentage, hence I have given 10. Now the department, let's say is from IT department. Okay, department name, department address. Again, I want to pass null value here. Department head, let me give it as Kavi, is the department head. So this is the insert statement. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the data types have to be relative. So to store, so if I define salary as varchar, I have to put it in double quote while inserting. The implicit conversion, sometimes it will not. So we need this is plain insert statement satisfying the values as per the data type. So for example, 4321 quote sounds as number because I defined as varchar. I put it in double quote. So I'm doing using the implicit conversion capabilities which can provide to you. Don't worry too much about it. As we create the insert statement, and the row will be inserted into the table. It has block. For some reason, Apex is relatively very slow, and it timed out, I guess. So I have to give the credentials here. Let me copy this for safety. And now open. So before running it again, let me first check whether the data is inserted or not. Again, select and from our keyword, so I should have typed in capital, but it's fine. I just typed it in small. So this is the basic way to review whether the data is inserted or not. Data is not inserted. I'm closing these two for now. Now you can see one row is inserted. Okay. Now I can also write the select statement here itself. Select star from employees ITV. Okay, so you can select this and click on run, then only this one will run. Okay, you can see the results. Like that, if you insert multiple times, you will see the multiple records. This is the first anomaly, and we will see how this can be fixed using certain features in the underlying database, and also slowly we will actually get into. Okay, I think I have to run one at a time. And also slowly we'll try to understand how we can actually model normal forms. So you will learn both normalization as well as DDL in detail. It will take some time to cover these things. Okay. So now 3 records with the same data. And if I run select star from, you will see three records. So what is the anomaly in this? Anomaly is if it is not correct to store 3 records for the same candidate in a given table. Enforce certain constraints, and we will see that later how those things can how it can be taken care. We will be seeing that as part of the next video. Okay, so what in the next video what we'll do is we'll try to create a primary key and make sure that we enforce certain integrity at the data in a and then we will also see why we should not details like this. Storing the department name, department address, and department head in one table details as part of the employee registration. We have to understand why it is not correct. It is another anomaly, but we will see that later. First, we will try to fix the first anomaly, presenting same data in the form of multiple records. How to address that, we will see as part of the next video. Thank you. Bye.